So yet again, here I am with more coverage of Capcom games. This is part of a big preview where I got to play several different titles, including Capcom Fighting Collection 2. Now, Capcom Fighting Collection 2, it features a ton of fan favorite games, all for the reasonable price of about $39.99. There is an Xbox One version, but no Xbox Series X version at this time. So when playing on the PS5, the first thing that jumped out at me was that the input latency seemed pretty good. I played a few other fighters, and it has been noted in the past that the PS5 controller and output to the television can sometimes give a bit of notable input delay. I didn't experience that this time. I'm happy to report that Capcom Fighting Collection 2 did not seem to have a noticeable issue in this regard when playing at the Capcom event. I was happily surprised by the lack of delay and heard others from the fighting game community also noting that they felt it was much more responsive than expected. Of course, I'd still want to test this for myself once the full game releases to be sure, but I mean, so far, it's looking good. Usually you can kind of tell if things are off or things aren't hitting quite right, especially with a fighting game, but this one felt somewhat decent. In terms of games, we were only able to take a peek at Project Justice, Capcom vs. SNK 2, and Street Fighter Alpha 3. But the full collection includes Capcom vs. SNK, Capcom vs. SNK 2, Capcom Fighting Evolution, Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper, Power Stone, Power Stone 2, Project Justice, and Plasma Sword. If you already have the original Capcom Fighting Collection, these are a perfect companion to the original collection, and in my opinion, it seems like a pretty good value for the price. Some features they noted on the site include a training mode, quick save option, one-button special moves, instruction cards, display filters, and move lists that you'll find in the full version. I didn't really test this out. All I wanted to do is play the different games. Now, just like with my last video, having mainly played Street Fighter 2, Third Strike, and X-Men and Marvel vs. Capcom games, I was less familiar with games like Project Justice, which I can't even believe this thing was ever made. So basically, the premise is you are a fighting game character and you go into a high school, so you're fighting like the photographer, a tennis player. I think you fight the principal or something at one point, and I have no idea what's going on. And I had never heard of Project Justice. I've heard of Street Fighter Alpha, and I've heard of Marvel Capcom versus SNK. All those totally make sense. But this one kind of caught me off guard in the best way. I like that there's these team-up moments, and I'll just show a little bit of footage of my gameplay, which isn't that great, let's be honest, and I will also show some of the provided footage.
今和の一族がどれほどのものか。死に急ぐか。ラウンド1ファイト。来ないのか。来ないのか。それが貴様にはお似合いだ。
Now, beyond that, we also got to check out Capcom versus SNK 2 and Street Fighter Alpha 3. Capcom versus SNK 2, I just picked a fighter who I knew, so my gameplay should be a little bit better, having some experience with Third Strike. Felt really, really good. This was where I really noticed, I'm like, hey, the input delay, it feels pretty good. I know there's been a bunch of tests about this particular topic, especially because it's so important with fighting games and such when interacting with the PlayStation 5. But if it's feeling this good now, I'm pretty optimistic about how it's going to be at launch. But of course, I'll reserve my full opinion for later. Got a few good games in. Unfortunately, I didn't even think to look at the visual modes. I was just having fun playing the game. And I think most people who pick these up, that's what they're going to do. They're going to pick it up. They're going to hop in, they're going to play a bunch of games, they'll adjust the visual filters maybe once or twice to get it to their liking, and then they're just going to play these games. And I have to say, this is a great collection. Personally, I think it would have been awesome to see Power Stone or Power Stone 2, but getting to play Capcom vs. SNK was really, really fun.
The sneaky surprise. Crush. Ready? This battle is about to explode. Fight!
On the Street Fighter Alpha front, I love that Capcom is putting this collection together personally. Let's just take a look at some of the gameplay from Alpha though, real quick, because Alpha was a lot of fun. Alpha's feeling good. All the games, it's just a good collection, you know. So I know you're here to check out the gameplay, not so much to hear from me. So in terms of my extensive coverage, this is largely what I can provide for the fighting game collection. These were like bonuses to the main game that I was there to play. And who's going to say no to sitting down and playing a little bit of Street Fighter, playing a little bit of Capcom classics like this? What are you thinking about Capcom Fighting Collection Volume 2? If you are able to get this collection, it does seem like it's shaping up quite nice. We will have to wait and see when the full game comes out later this year.
Hey, come on! Stand up! Face it straight! You win!
A huge thank you to all of the members who support. A huge thank you to the Platinum backers like Christopher, Inner Machine, Philoroni, Savage, Spingetter, and the Scarecrow 121. If you want to support, you can do so over on patreon.com/SaveStatePlus.